with frivolity. Parties and balls, a life so grand. Little did she know what fate had planned. Ollie, Ollie, the wandering candlewick, chosen by Sybil in her destiny's down. Escape from towers of paper to the open road, a reluctant cleric with powers bestowed. From luxury, thrust into robes, surrounded by tomes and dusty old globes. But Ollie's mind, sharp as a tack, mastered the legalese others did lack. Contracts and bylaws, she knew them all. Her litigious prowess made bureaucrats fall. In mazes of paper would she find a way to bend the rules and save the day. A holy symbol in a divine dream. Not all in the tower is as it may seem. A true the tower across the land. But Ollie sees more than meets the eye. All timelines at once, futures that fly. Past, present, future, all intertwined, sometimes leaving the present behind. But Ollie sees more than meets the eye. All timelines at once, futures that fly. Past, present, future, all intertwined, sometimes leaving the present behind. Library cat, shrouded in mystery, follows Ollie through every history. With glowing eyes and silent paws, it guards her path without pause. Ollie, Ollie, the wandering candlewick, chosen by Sybil in her destiny's down. Escape from towers of paper to the open road, a reluctant cleric with powers bestowed. Cut from luxury, thrust into robes, surrounded by tomes and dusty old globes. But Ollie's mind, sharp as a tack, mastered the legalese others did lack.
Oh, hoist up the sails, let the winds take a clip. For Thaddeus Turnpike commands his ship. For good of the waves, a sailor so bold, with magical powers and a heart of gold. Behold, Thaddeus sailed the endless sea, with little Boo as wise as can be. Through tempest and tide, they roam far and wide. The Turnpike legacy, their unfading pride. From the mighty Turnpike line he hails, with a lineage of captains braving the gales. A scion of seafarers fierce and grand, with the spell on his lips and the sword in his hand. Behold, Thaddeus, master of the spell, with little Boo through heaven and hell. They dance with the stars, they flirt with the dew, their laughter echoes in the ocean's blue. For his mate, little Boo's his name. Together they soar in fortune and fame. With little Boo, his talents wrapped in light, they summon the winds and the stars to their fight. A curse of great power, a gift or a bane, Thaddeus wields it with little to fame. A rogue with a charm, a sailor with flair, he faces each curse with nary a care. Behold, Thaddeus, the sea's arcane knight, with little Boo in the pale moonlight. Through whispers of magic and the salt-laden air, the Turnpike adventure none can compare. So sing of the Turnpike, the legend, the tale, of Thaddeus and Boo setting sail. For where the map ends, their journeys just start. The sea's in their blood, magic in their heart. So sing of that Turnpike, the legend, the tale, of Thaddeus and Boo setting sail. For where the map ends, their journey
Salamia's fields, a halfling stood tall. Sea gray eyes, a fighter's call. With Fiona's love and Angus' smile, his world was bright for a little while. Oh, Harold Grey with list in hand, a promise made, a journey planned. Each task he'll mark, each dream fulfill. For those he's lost, his heart beats still. From Zakar streets to golden fields, their family loved the greatest shield. They dreamed of wonders near and far, penned on a list beneath the stars. Oh, Harold Grey with list in hand, a promise made, a journey planned. Each task he'll mark, each dream fulfill. For those he's lost, his heart beats still. Young Angus fell on distant shore, while Fiona's kiss would come no more. A drunken noble, a vengeful blade, left Harold's world in darkness laid. But from his grief a purpose born, to honor vows that he had sworn. The list unfolds a final wish, a blade resisted a gutted fish. Now Harold roams through joy and strife, to live for three in one short life. From mountains high to oceans deep, this solemn pledge he vowed to keep. With bowler hat and iron will, he faces each task with hard-won skill. For every deed he sees it through, he feels their love forever true. And when the final task is done, when every battle's lost and won, he'll close his eyes, his duty clear, knowing his loved ones drawing near. In afterlife they'll meet again, their love eternal, free from pain. The list complete, their dreams fulfilled, a promise kept, a future will. Oh, Harold Grey, your journey's long, but in your heart they're never gone. With every dream that you fulfill, Fiona and Angus are with you still.
hello, Legionnaires, I guess is what where you guys are called. Thanks for tuning in to today's, is it still called Claire of Cthulhu? I think it might be. But we are playing Call of Cthulhu with our core D&D characters, our core 5th edition characters that have been transported into this horrible new world. And so we've got Sam, Michael, and Sean. And in that order, Sam, who were you playing and who are you playing?
I was playing Thaddeus Turnpike, once a wizard who just wanted to be a barbarian, now a wizard par excellence. And he's been reborn in this world as Thaddeus Turnpike, wealthy dilettante to the Turnpike family, wealthy capitalists who happen to own a factory in this here town, which... Have we established what the factory makes? I'm pretty sure that we've just been calling
We're just the factory. What do you want it to make? You've got a welder, so it's gotta be metal. But maybe because Thaddeus, your people were all about at sea, so maybe it makes boats. Maybe.
Yeah, we're a military part of the burgeoning military industrial complex.
There you go.
But yes, he is a dilettante. He's never really quite found a job, even though he's highly educated, and he has just been thrust into factory ownership, although his first day has not yet come. And he currently was in a boxing match with Squeak Noir, it so happened, with whom he fell in the right round, as Squeak Noir was a gambling or a degenerate of some sort in this universe. I've also lost 5 points of sanity to seeing a woman that is probably Library Cat, and that's where that is.
Amazing. Michael, can you tell us about Harold in this world?
Yeah, so Harold Gray is now Harold Gray. But no longer the bereaved. And he works as a smuggler and a distiller, shipping booze into the city.
Amazing. And finally, Sean, who are you playing?
So I was playing Aelric, the last Dragonborn. Aelric Tiamaticus, but now I am playing Ellerby Richard Wake, known mostly by his nickname Elric, which was handed to him during his time in the army. He is a general worker, survived the Great War, is trying to hold a really hard line of becoming more of a pacifist. And finding it difficult for the only real job he can find outside of the Turnpike metal mill, whatever that word, the factory,
the boat factory, whatever that's called.
Yeah, is bouncing at a local boxing club and general purpose arena / bar, but on the side, he is starting to express himself in an artistic way, creating jewelry in his room and figurines with the shards of scrap metal that he gathers in from the factory.
So the exciting thing about this episode is that all of our characters, they're all at the same location with the various tenuous ties that in this world connect them. Like, for instance, Ellerby is employed by both. It's on Harold's roster as security, and shipyard. Coy chimes in with shipyard. That is what the factory will be called, the shipyard. And also working for Thaddeus at his shipyard. So Sam is correct. This was the scene that just finished in our last episode. Squeak Noir, also in this world known as Sebastian Montbar, confessed to Thad as they were fighting that he had to go down in the third round or else. And the fight has the fight has finished, and a bunch of things are happening. We have the bartender, Harold's top bartender, came up to him with a telegram from the hospital informing him that his wife had been in a car accident. And a bunch of things are going to happen. But I forget, remind me, Michael, what your character's moves were. They were to leave, right? It was to.
Well, it was. I was given the opportunity. I told the bartender to tell, my assistant to run it for the rest of the night, and then I left. But I will say that on the way out, Harold turns to the tall, menacing security guard and says, "You're with me," and then just walks.
So this interaction happens at the front door the fight happened on a barge. So this is where we are. We are in the docks next to the turnpike shipyards, and the fight being illegal and an illegal boxing match with, Thaddeus Turnpike. You got to keep that on the down low. So we are out here. As you have this interaction with Sean, several things are going to happen, and I would love to know everyone's dexterity. In Call of Cthulhu, we just go by dex in order. So instead
90.
of rolling for initiative. 90?
90.
Also 90.
80.
Okay. So rock,
Most
paper.
overpowered Call of Cthulhu party.
Whoops. This is
The bringers of peace and justice.
I have a
Triumphant.
+4 dexterity bonus in D&D, so
okay. Great. 90. Let me roll my dice for their own sake. For the sake. For posterity. Okay. All right. Thaddeus, you see as Squeak Noir in this world, the boxer, Montbar, is limping off the stage. You see the O'Learys. You know them because they are your... That's Thumbs in the middle there. That's Thumbs and his brothers. They're a family, and they look mighty unimpressed with Squeak Noir. It seems a little ominous in this moment. Is there anything that you want to do? Do you want to help him out of the ring? Would you, you're in your victory moment. But things seem tense.
What's the audience like? What is the feelings from the crowd towards the bout?
Oh, everyone is like super pumped that you won. There's like cheering, and it's quite explosive. How about roll me a spot hidden as you glance out over the crowd?
Spot hidden. So all right, I don't have that. So it's a 20. I have to roll under a 25. That'd be a 9. I'm already just we dunk on Call of Cthulhu over here.
That's amazing. Okay, you see someone in the crowd wearing a hood, and what is it? You know what this looks like, but not from this lifetime. You know what a spell being cast looks like. And you recognize that. You have a 90. So is there anything that you would like to do?
I would like to counterspell.
Okay, so I wonder what that looks like here.
So I whip out, and not having my staff on me, which is a little bit, it's going to take a lot of willpower, I know. Like, I wrench my upraised hand, and I quickly just just wrench it out of the referee's hand, throw my glove to the ground, and now I place one glove, the other gloved hand up to my temple to really concentrate, and I start making the arcane symbols that I remember from my other lifetime with the other hand, and I start chanting the arcane words that I remember from the other life at the hooded figure who is casting a spell.
How you start to feel your mind starts to feel like it's slowly splitting, but this feels weirdly possible. Do you lean into this?
Does it feel would this be like the sensation of scratching an itch and actually getting relief, or is this like scratching an itch and I'm like rendering flesh off my own body?
Yeah, this is scratching an itch, but the wound is infected.
No, I'm not going to lean into that feeling. Then this is trying to break me, and I'm going to actually raise my voice and chant. I don't care how weird I look right now. I'm chanting louder I'm increasing my volume and intensity in response to whatever this feeling is.
So you are not leaning in. You are not going into the recesses of your mind to be like, I know how to do this. I don't know how I know how to do this, but I know what to do.
I'm on pure dilettante. I am a rich boy whose stats literally say that I am good at everything. I am shutting off my higher brain functions, and I am letting my jaw form words that, oh no, but this jaw is a different jaw, isn't it? This jaw doesn't have the muscle memory of the other jaw, does it?
You're going to have to scratch the infected itch if you want.
I'm going to scratch it again. I realizing that, I panic and I scratch, but I know a spell when I see a spell. This is bad.
Okay, so in order to access things from your other life, it is going to cost sanity. It's got to cost something, and so you're going to have to make a sanity check.
All right, got to roll under 65. No, that's a 73.
Let's see. Oh, so yeah. You remember how to cast counterspell. Totally. You do. And you say the correct words and you do the correct gestures. And you're like immediate migraine, immediate splitting pain, immediate agony. So I am going to, yeah.
Now, much to the weirdness, I'm going to then sort of stumble for. I'm gonna take like a little bit of. I'm gonna drop whatever that is, and now adding to the weirdness, of me on stage, I'm going to sort of and I think I have a little nosebleed now too.
Okay, it's you got a how close were you from? You needed 65, and you got
5, and I got a 73.
You got a 73. Clairethulhu is very explicit that sanity rolls cannot be pushed. It's tempting though, but them's the rules. So, alas.
How much am I losing here?
I would if the chat threw one of those like you have advantage, I would let you would get to push the roll with it's a D10, and then you subtract whatever that is from, but I think you would need a 10 or 8 or something.
So besides the splitting headache, what are the consequences? Do I lose sanity over this, or do I fail?
I rolled a 2. So I know that I'm making a game blend thing. Technically this should be more impactful, but you're just going to lose 2 sanity and have a headache. I'm not going to
Got it.
do a bigger thing. But I know that technically that's, you didn't lose, we're not going to count the sanity. If you lose 5, there are consequences, but you've lost 2. Okay, so that is what happens for you there. And then we have our scene with our other characters as they are trying to leave. And the spell is going to go off. And everyone is going to have to make another sanity check as suddenly the room seems to fill with a green kind of light.
All right, and what do I roll? I'm so sorry. I wasn't.
That's okay. You're rolling.
Parsing. I don't see sanity on my thing. Sorry.
It should be. I have a sample character sheet.
It's not spot hidden. No, that's
No.
No, it's
Whatever your
Oh,
power
I see it. I see it. I got it. Thank you.
Okay.
I just couldn't parse it. So many things. So many rows. Okay.
So many new things to learn.
Yeah. Here we go. Whew. Okay. I did not make it.
I passed, Claire.
Okay, so everyone passes?
No, I did not pass.
Oh, you did not pass. Okay. So there is a for those that pass, there wasn't a green light. That was really weird. It was like you blinked. It was like the color green was behind your eyes for a second and it's gone. But for Ellerby, you were going to have to make a constitution, I think it's called a check. A constitution check to not it's like tinnitus is like an understatement for the sound that you are hearing.
Okay. Unless I'm able to push it, I missed it.
I believe that you are able to push it. So, but you have to describe to me what that, like, you can, so pushing it means that you can get another D10 and you can subtract it. If you're close, it's worth doing. Maybe there can be consequences.
So it's for the second time I've meet it to beat it, I guess. Because
okay.
I did that with my last sanity check before this one. So yeah, my constitution's 80, rolled an 88, rolled an 8. So I'm at 80. So
okay.
So he's split focus both in the room and in his brain because he's trying to follow the order that he's just gotten to follow the boss out the door. And then this thing comes up and it hits him, and it's whatever the spell is doing, the tinnitus is ringing, and just kind of the nature of the pulse and the pitch and kind of the harmonics of all of that also like bring in both kind of consciousnesses, sure, in at one time to figure out right where they are, and it's not pleasant, and it's a penetrating headache that stops him cold and almost drops him to his knees.
But you save and you stay solid.
I stay solid.
You stay solid. Like you don't even have to show, like you were a soldier. You
right.
know how to not even grimace.
Right, exactly. So he turns to start to walk away, then the thing happens and he's stopped cold. That's as much as it shows to the exterior world, but the interior mind is pretty jumbled at this moment, and there's a lot of pain with it. But yeah, Keen's character, right? Harold might have noticed that the big thumping footsteps stopped, but that's about all.
And Keen's character would have had, Harold would have had a glimpse of like, that was weird. Did the color just change? Anyway, so that happens. And Thad, you see Squeak Noir, Squeak Montbar collapse. And you're also aware, I mean, like you see him collapse because like you're reeling yourself. And then You save against the feeling of an impression of green, and but you see Squeak Noir, who had been limping off. You see him collapse, and Harold, after this funny feeling, where's your attention at?
The same place it was before.
Leaving.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He also has no recollection of the previous life still. Like he's got nothing. So
did you still failed or you didn't push into it, right? You suppressed it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've passed every sanity check so far.
Okay.
So,
okay. So yeah, so he doesn't know. Okay, cool.
No.
All right. So because you stayed upright, LRB, and grimace through this thing,
Elric is fine. Elric is fine.
Elric,
You're a friend.
Elric. Okay, amazing. Elric, you hear a thump of someone collapsing. Your senses are
Okay. Yeah.
being stretched, but someone in the crowd near you has just collapsed.
Okay. What do I roll to see? Do I do the...
Yeah. So this was me doing the spell's turn. So it's actually, before you can respond, it's going to be Harold's.
Ah, gotcha.
Go.
Gotcha. Yep.
So what does Harold do?
well, Claire, I'm not sure on what Harold has perceived. I haven't had the spot hidden, and I passed the sanity check.
Yeah. So basically, like, if Harold, would you like to roll us? Would you, like, in character? It's totally fine if the character's focus is not towards, like, there's this bizarre green light that happens. You see your man that you've asked to come follow you has stopped in his tracks. So you're welcome to look around, or, you know, if you're going to tell me that you're like, let's go, you know, like, this is getting weird. Either.
But I thought you said that I don't see a green light.
No, so it's like an impression of one. It's like this feeling. People that passed, it's like that was weird. It's like a feeling of like that was weird. Maybe it was.
Okay,
But there's still.
I'll roll a spot hidden.
Okay. So yeah, something unusual. Unusual color comes up behind your eyes. So you turn around and roll spot hidden.
Fail.
Fail.
Yeah.
Okay. Elric looks fine. But a woman has just collapsed, and that's not hard to see because there is a crowd gathering around her. What do you do?
I leave.
You leave. You're on your way out. Okay, so
I have staff for this kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. That is now it's going to be Elric. Elric, what do you do?
Well, at first I have to roll, right? I have to roll to see if I see the spot hidden thing, right?
No. You saw it. Like you saw, you see, you know what's going on. You've got your boss telling you we're leaving, and he's going out the door. You've seen someone collapse.
Well, he takes a step. He looks at the boss, and he knows which side his bread is buttered on. Unfortunately, he's not in a position not to follow Harold, but he does see the woman and is incredibly torn, but then he marches. He knows how to take an order. He's a good sergeant.
Okay, yeah. You recognize the woman that's collapsed. It's the woman that you recognized as Library Cat.
Oh, okay.
So, but you can still, I don't know if that changes anything.
God dang. Yeah, it does. It does. Elric just goes over there, parts the crowd, grabs up Library Cat, hoists her on his shoulder, and starts heading out the door behind Harold.
Okay, she is
like hoist her up and just like sack of flour on the shoulder, and then just moving out.
Amazing. You two are leaving. We'll come back to Thad. Squeak Noir like you're both kind of like you're out from trying to sort of spell cast, like that's why you're low to the ground, and that's why you're on the level with Squeak Noir. And Squeak Noir just sort of like pitifully gestures at the door, at the departing group, and he goes, that is my Elsie, that is and the O'Learys are now at the edge of the boxing ring, and they're including Thumbs, and they're pulling Squeak Noir out of the ring. What do you do?
How wait, so like what did the crowd, what happened with the crowd in the flash?
No one seems to be acting strangely. Nothing seems to have affected the crowd. You were distracted, so you did not see, like you were distracted with the mind-splitting spell cast attempt, so you didn't see Elsie go, but you see her being carried out. You saw.
Okay, so then in that case,
like you didn't see her fall down, is what I'm saying, but you did see Squeak fall down.
I didn't see Squeak fall down, but did I see Elric? Did I see her get hoisted?
Yes, you see Squeak Noir is gesturing towards the door, and you see the door opening to out of the barge going into the night, and you see two figures, and certainly one is carrying someone in a dress.
So I'm going to, looking down at Squeak Noir with the pointing, I am now going to just bolt out of the ring. I'm going to do like a slide through, like that real professional thing of like, you know how boxers just really quickly get through the ropes? You know?
Sure.
I want to do that, and I'm going to make a beeline for the locker room, where I've left my clothing, the shotgun that I mentioned in the last session, and I'm going to really, 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 really quickly just throw on an overcoat over my pirate costume, which I'm still wearing, which I don't know if everybody needs a re-description of that, but it's a puffy shirt, tight pants. So I'm going to grab my overcoat, tuck my sawed-off shotgun underneath it, and as I then like try to burst through the back door to make my way around the building to find the guy that picked up, like I'm going to like try to come around through the back. And as I'm going to do it, I'm going to slip on just a brass knuckle in my pocket as I keep my my gun sort of like in a little holster that I have built into my bigger trench. Just because I'm a dilettante doesn't mean that I haven't traded in, like I played like cards in some really not cool areas.
Amazing. Okay, so yes, you hear Squeak saying as you depart, you hear him going, "But I don't understand. I threw the fight. No, don't. I did it. Don't hurt." And you are gone. You have slipped out, and yeah. So we're here on the wharf. We're here on the wharf. You see the scene of Harold. This is a man. You've seen him at your fights before. Like you've seen him at your fights, and also you've been your other brain is bright, is fresh. Like you're digging around in there looking for, spells. So this is Harold the Rogue from you see that, and you see Harold the.
Let me ask, for a human, is he still short, or is he like he's a little guy still? All right, short king. Okay.
Yeah, Michael, what did you say your height was? It was it
5'3"?
5'3".
That like I stop for like in my running before I can do it. When Thad realizes that that's Harold and he's a 5'3" human, he like stops for a second and kind of starts laughing, and then has to like actually pick back up and hey. And he's shouting after them as he's coming, and I'm whipping off my my pirate headgear now. I realize that I still have that on, so I'm like throwing that off.
Amazing. Harold, how are you going to respond? One of the boxers is chasing you down. Like the boxer from the grand finale, from the big fight. Like,
I turn on him.
Don't forget I'm there too.
Yeah. Sorry, you're both. You guys don't need to. You can tell me if you guys want to paint the scene together. Like, please.
Yeah. So, what's the weather outside right now, Claire?
Ooh, it's that where your skin is like, it's like you're like, is it raining or am I just somehow covered in condensation? It is like so ready for a thunderstorm that it's like the air is thick, but it hasn't broken yet.
Well, Harold's looking around for an O'Leary.
Okay, yeah, you can certainly find one of O'Leary's men, like waiting, just sort of the way that people wait, having a dart.
Okay, so Harold looks at this demented boxer and goes, "I'll deal with you in a second." And he goes up to the O'Leary with the confidence of a man who is used to hurting people, who also has a much larger man who can also hurt people and is in fact paid to do so, standing, maybe 3 feet behind him, and goes, "Listen to me. You tell your uncle. Fiona's in the hospital. I'm leaving. And if you turn over this event while I'm gone, I will take it personal. It won't be business."
Whoa, right there, little guy. Sure. I deliver the message.
I don't give a fuck if someone threw a fight. I don't give a fuck how drunk you boys get. This is personal.
All right. You'll be, if profits go down, you'll be answering to him, but I'll deliver the message. And Fiona, she's and he is willing to move along. And Elric, roll a spot hidden during this interaction.
Well, he's rolling his spot hidden. Thad, who, at least in this body, which is taking primacy, is even less used to people ignoring him when he says hey than in the other world, has completely walked over to like interrupt this conversation, but at the mention of Fiona's name, the little bit of the old life that he's leading, that he sort of has some sort of attachment to, pings out Fiona, and I just stop, like, dead in my tracks. Because I believe that this is the first confirmation that I've had of everybody within my memory that has a correspondence now seemingly is a lot. Like so far, people who have been alive are alive in my memory, and like matching up, and people who are supposed to be dead in my memories seem to be matching up.
Except for Hastings, who in real life is alive, but in this life is dead. But otherwise, yes. Overall, yeah, we have the same actors playing the same parts.
Well, okay, yes. So this is Fiona being alive is like a real, now that I've recognized that this is Harold, is a real kick in the gut.
Okay.
I rolled a 6 on my spot hidden, so I found the spot.
You found it. This O'Leary that you're talking to is wearing an amulet of Zivelin around his neck. The mold that you have crumpled, you have that piece of paper that you had taken the etching of.
Yeah.
You see just out of the button down of his suit, you just see this shine, like this metal, I forget the word, mold. It just falls out of his necklace as he interacts with Harold. And you notice that his eyes they flick sort of a bit with a bit of that kind of glint, a kind of unsettling glint to the woman that is unconscious on your shoulder. But he takes the orders from Harold, and the interaction plays. Is there anything that you do with this information? Or, sorry, let me know if that's what you see.
Yeah. So does Harold take off? I missed that part. Did you move on, brother?
No, we're all still we're still in this moment. We're still in this moment. But Harold is clearly he's giving instructions for how business is to be handled on his way out.
So Elric like takes the woman off his shoulder and hands her to Thad. Says, "Make yourself useful," and then goes to the man.
I dropped the woman. I accept the woman when I like, because I'm so thunderstruck by the Fiona news. And the second that I realized that this is the Catwoman that I saw again in the crowd, like it reread, like I knew that. That's why I'm following you. But like when that registers, I'm like, oh my, and I just completely drop her.
Roll a luck. Make a luck roll.
Luck roll.
It's a stat.
60. 49. I beat the 60.
Hell yeah.
You drop her. She rolls to the edge of the wharf, and she rolls. So you're just on a little dock. She's about to fall in, and just somehow, because you dropped her just right, with almost a kind of unprecedented, almost feline-like precision, she does not tip into the drink.
And so I go to the guy, I go to the O'Leary, and I point at the necklace and say, "Where did you get that?"
My mom, what's it to you?
He gets closer and says, "I need to know where you got that."
No, you don't. And he's like, I'm on business. And he turns to go. What do you do?
Hey!
He turns back.
Not you.
Yeah.
You inside. You, the big one.
Yes. What?
We're leaving. I'm headed to the hospital, so if you want to take the woman with you, it's a public service. You, the boxer, you got a car?
Yes.
Of course I have a car.
Well, then maybe you could give me a ride.
All right. Yes.
There's a sick woman.
I look at the woman and I'm like, that's something that we need to talk about, but that is no woman, I say vehemently.
Elric just kind of tries to take as much detail, like mind photo of that guy as he possibly can, and then goes and picks up the precariously balanced supine woman and hefts her back on his shoulder, and then follows Harold ever so patiently.
All right. So you follow Thad to where he... I know that Thumbs told you to come down here and be inconspicuous, but how conspicuous were you? What kind of...
How conspicuous?
What kind of... Squeak Noir. Oh, Vic of ours in the chat asking what happened to Squeak Noir. Squeak Noir... let's see. Squeak Noir is being accosted by some O'Learys for not throwing the fight that well, to be honest. That he made it look a little obvious, and he was the last we saw Squeak Noir. Squeak Noir was being dragged off the stage, out of the boxing ring by the O'Learys, and also clocked that in this world, Elsie was being carted out the front door of the barge by a group and gestured and asked Thad for his help. Yes, there's one thing Squeak Noir cannot do, it's lose convincingly.
I run up ahead around the corner, and I quickly I have like a covering for it. I like quickly pull off the covering that's underneath it, and I go to whatever it consisted of a trunk. It looks like a 1924 Chrysler 6. If Coy wants
Wow.
to,
That's incredibly specific.
but I grab the a cloth over it, the big sort of thing that's covering it. I throw it in the trunk where I also pull out a beer bottle. And as I get into the front, I pop open the top of the beer bottle, turn on the car, whip it around, take a swig of the drink that I've very much needed since my brain started to hurt. And I wheel the car around, and I come to a very dashing little script stop right in front of them. Wait for them to get in.
Okay. I can see if I can add this amazing car image that I've been shown, but I won't focus on actually. I'll get better at this, but do Google it. It's a nice looking car. So
I'm assuming that our Twitch followers also have.
Yeah. There we go. There's link in the chat. Okay, we get to the car, and Aelric, because you clocked that man, but you followed Harold's orders. As you're getting back in the car, you give a glance back out over the docks, and this, you don't need a spot hidden for this, but you see him watching. You see him watching from, and not really trying to hide that.
Okay.
And Harold, as your two friend, there's a niggling at your mind, like you know these people, and in this reality, Fiona is alive and in the hospital. There is another reality. There's a feeling. There's a horrible feeling. Like there's a feeling. Do you want to feel into that bizarre, sort of like a deja vu, like a sinister deja vu, or do you push it out of your mind?
Sure, I'll feel into it.
Okay. As you give a who's driving? Okay. So as you watch Thaddy climb into this vehicle, and as you watch Aelric place this woman Elsie into the car, roll a sanity check, because this feels very bizarre. There's something right in front of you.
Fail the sanity check.
You failed it? So, yeah, okay, let me roll my dice. You feel like your mind is splitting in half as memories of another time and place flood your head. You are going to lose 3 points of sanity for remembering that there is another world with Thaddeus and with an Aelric, and you feel quite nauseous. And I'm just that nausea. Let's see. Yeah, that nausea is going to last about like half an hour, which subsequently is the length of time drive to the hospital.
Okay. Harold, before he gets into the car, proceeds to vomit.
Classic.
Straightens up, wipes his mouth on a handkerchief, looks at the big man holding the woman. in back with her. What do I know about the O'Learys? Because one of the perks of the background is that you are acquainted with the criminal elements. So would I know who Ma is?
You would. So what you know about the O'Learys is that they are like a mid-sized crime family. They do think they are trying to,
Yeah.
muscle their way up in the world. But you absolutely know, like Thaddeus, the entire reason that this racket has been so successful is because Thaddeus hasn't known that the boxers are throwing the matches. So you are well aware that the pretty playboy is under the impression that he is just one hell of a fighter. And you know that, so it's like, yeah.
But
So
do I know their leadership structure? And if so, do I know who Ma is? So I would assume
Sorry.
that I negotiate with them from time to time.
Yes. So if I gave you a name, I forgot it. What is this name?
Ma. Because I overheard the O'Leary talking to Elric and saying,
Okay. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you do know who that is. So she is real matriarch vibes. When what is it? It's the line from My Big Fat Greek Wedding is coming into my head of like being the neck that turns the head. Like, yeah, she's maybe not like the as big as like, I mean, Thumbs is, a brother or an uncle, but there is Ma's. Let's get some names for that's all right. So we've got Margaret that's her name, and she is partnered with Anthony O'Leary, and they are like sort of, it's rare to see them. It'd be very rare that they would ever come to a get like they are. But if you know how to get in touch with them, of course you can. And they're, quite a cutthroat power couple.
got it. Okay, so the car driving.
Mm-hmm.
Harold's gonna speaking in that way where you're talking to someone behind you but looking out the window, and Harold is like has the window full down and his head is kind of lolling out. The nausea he feels is probably just a byproduct of his anxiety, but he thinks it would be rude to vomit in the car. Says over the roaring wind, I wouldn't be fucking with the O'Learys if I were you, and I wouldn't be asking after Margaret.
Thad, who is terribly relieved after watching Harold throw up, that he rolled down the window himself. Like, I was so ready to lean across you and roll that shit down. But in response, Old Sport, we have much bigger problems than the O'Learys.
I'm sorry. Do I know you?
Harold, no and yes at the same time.
Jesus fucking Christ.
But I know that you are Harold. I've never met you before. I've seen you at matches, but I've never met you before here. And this includes you, big guy. I fully turn around while I'm driving. It is the 1920s. I'm driving with the beer in my hand and say to Arlick in the back, and you too, big guy, we are well acquainted in the place where I'm obviously losing my mind. And I take a big sip of my beer.
So do we need to make a check to see if, like, I have memories of both people, so
Yeah, it's at you have memories of both people. At this point I have like I've given everyone's brains the opportunity to break in recognition of each other, and you're all there. So things that are going to stretch further are trying to get abilities from your other life, trying to get like very specific information, like trying to be like I know sword fighting. Like that is going to like stretch the mind.
Gotcha.
But in terms of like but at this point it's more of it's a role playing how you want to find yourself in between two minds. You still have the mind of this person, like that you do not ever lose the awareness of this human.
But I just admitted that I know who you are, at least. Although Harold seems to not know us yet, or at least won't admit it yet.
So Harold looks over at that and says, Jesus, are they really punching you in there?
Oh, buddy. Between the fights, the boozing, and the opium, I don't quite know how this could have happened, but it has happened. And I am telling you right now, I know who you are, big guy, Arlic Tiamoticus, and I know who you are, Harold of the Freedom Fighters. I chuck my empty beer bottle out the window.
It smashes on the cobblestones.
And from the back seat, Aelric and Elric reach forward and places the right hand on Thad's shoulder, brings himself close and says, I see you, Thaddeus Turnpike. I see both of you.
Well,
And then leans back.
Would anyone like to do a medicine check on Elsie, who's passed out in the backseat?
Oh, but I am gonna vomit.
Good point. You can't do one. Would maybe the person who's not driving and not suffering sanity sickness?
I have no medicine check.
Okay, so that doesn't
1%.
happen.
I have
We're-
1%.
We're bringing her to the hospital, which is going to come into view. So here's our hospital. That's Moonlight,
Oh,
obviously.
wow. Nice.
So yeah, it's just, it's earlier days, so you don't have to. The hospital parking is easy. Actually, you rock up. I assume that you've like never had to go to a public. That has never had to go to a public hospital before.
Doctors come to you. This doesn't. No, there's you. People die in those. People get violently ill and die in those buildings.
Concierge service, baby.
So you just drive up to the front, like just straight up in front of the steps, just like right.
So I drive right up in front of the steps. I pull the little gear shift into park. I look over at Harold and I just kind of try to side peek to make sure that he got all of his vomit out the window. And then I hold my breath as I get out of the car. I open up the trunk, grab another beer and the cloth out of the thing, and then I hold my breath as I turn the corner, praying that his vomit didn't streak against the side of my really nice car. Has it? Do I need to
roll luck.
Do I need to roll luck, or does Harold need to roll luck? He is the one vomiting, but I am the one
It's your car. You're the one.
I'm experiencing the Schrodinger's vomit. So
yeah, you're the one that cares.
Oh, got it. That is a 75, and I believe my luck is 60. No, there is vomit.
Just chunky, streaked, like absolutely.
I crumple the cloth in my hand and I throw it up on the hood, but I reach over and I open up the door on that side for Arlic.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you open up the door. So I know that the picture I put up here is a really rustic looking hospital, but this is actually like, in your imagination. It's more of a university hospital. It's more of a like larger connected sort of building made of, stone and stuff with steps and a kind of ominous grandeur. So yeah, you've arrived. You've arrived. You've parked the car in front. What do you do? What is Harold doing? Really, is like Thad's messing around with the vehicle, but what is Harold?
Hands security guard a wad of cash and says, "What's your name?"
Am I
Neville?
the security guard? Or no, the hospital security guard. Sorry.
No,
Oh, wait.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Harold, before if you're immediately stumbling out of the car, before you leave, or as you're leaving, I shout after you. We need to have a longer conversation. I'll be out here waiting, and if this world is the real world, if there's any damages, I know you can afford it.
Sure. What's your name?
Ellerby.
Ellery.
Thaddeus Turnpike.
I want you to. I know your name, Ellerby. Please listen clearly to me. And he takes he opens his like inner pocket and starts counting out bills. This is to check her in. Place isn't cheap. It's bad business to have someone die on the barge. This, for you, you're doing work outside of contract right now, and I appreciate it. I want you to listen to me. My Fiona is going to be all right, but it wouldn't be the first time that someone's made a move on us laterally. So I am going to go inside. I am going to see Fiona. I am going to find out what happened. And then when I am done, be staying here while she recovers, or I'll be off to hurt some people. And there will be a hefty bonus for you if you're going to assist me in that. And you can stay here with your car. And he marches off inside.
We'll be here when it all goes to shit, Harold.
Okay. It's you do. Does anyone? So yeah, what do you do, Elric?
Well, first he turns to Thad and says, "It seems Harold is not aware."
Well, Fiona's alive. Here, at least for right now. Wouldn't you remain unaware?
Yes.
We know how this is going to end in there.
Yes. I'm just speaking aloud. I'm going to take care of the cat.
I don't want anything to do with her. I don't trust it. I don't like it. She should be a cat.
Can I check the cat into the hospital?
Yes, please. You can take it out of my car. I will be here if you need me. But, if they can't find anything wrong with her, I think somebody may have been casting magic back at the match.
I felt something.
I thought I might be able to cast a spell, but instead I just... and at this point I realize I have not at any point in time actually really managed to clean myself up from the nosebleed that I had earlier. Like I've streaked it, but there's been no time. And so I feel the dry blood and I pour like a little bit of beer into my hand and I just kind of you're seeing me on a bad night.
I love for someone who's so often confused, I love how much Thad likes categories. I am dead. No, you're alive. We're talking to you. No, you don't get it. I'm dead. That is a cat. Get it out of my car. Like,
So I'm just throwing up I've just thrown up the picture of Elsie again, just so that that is the unconscious woman, and that is Squeak Noir, who has been
So Elric follows Harold's lead and takes the cat takes a woman. He pulls Elsie out of the car and turns to Thad as he's starting to walk and says, "We should at least call her she while we're here."
Did you know that Library Cat was a woman? I thought that Library Cat was a Tom the whole time.
It does not matter. I don't have scales or wings.
Arlic, before you take her in, which world do you think is the real world?
This feels more real.
This feels more real.
This feels more real.
All right. Well, if we're all under a mass hallucination or some sort of spellcraft, or we've all been drugged, we'll figure it out. But please take the cat out of my car.
So Elric picks her up, takes her into the hospital.
great.
Tries to find an orderly to get some assistance.
Yeah, so there's just fully you check her. You check her into the hospital, but I take it that there's some paperwork. This is a picture of the inside of the hospital. This is the kind of vibe. This is I feel like it should be more for such a modern institution. It should be a little more well lit, but
That's what the money's for.
That's what the money's for. So it's going to take a little. There are a bunch of questions that are going to come up. Like you start the orderly, the nurse starts asking a bunch of, because you are some men who have brought an unconscious woman to. And is that the Thaddeus Turnpike? And I sort of imagine that you don't have time for this, Harold. How do you handle this interaction?
I walk right by her and towards someone who looks like they're in charge.
Sure. Yeah. No. There's absolutely. It's the 20s. There's a doctor.
Sorry to play it to the nose like that, but
It's fine. No, it's fine. It's like Lines and Veils fantasy. It's fine. It's fine. I meant to. It's not my intention to create a profoundly sexist environment for us, but I will. It's the joke. It's the joke. So yes, there is there. Yeah, you know what? Actually, the doctor is like. He's gonna be like I'm busy, and he's going to direct you actually back to the intake nurses station situation. There.
okay.
I solved. So yeah, there is. You can see it. You can see just like there. So you don't even have to roll for it. There is just like it's a small hospital, so you can see Fiona's name written down. Like you can see there's just, all you have to do is lean over the counter and there's paperwork with her name and the room number that she's in.
What room is she in?
507.
I go to room 507.
Okay. So do Thad and Elric stay filling out the paperwork for Elsie?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm staying by the car.
You didn't come in?
I did not come in.
Oh, you did not come in. Okay, so there is no starstruck, like, no.
People, as I said before, poor people get sick and die in hospital. That is a place full of disease and unhappiness. Well,
Right.
the only reason to go to a hospital, as far as that is concerned, is if you need to use X-ray machines have been invented. If you need like a highly technical, large piece of equipment, then you go to a special wing of the hospital.
Okay, well that changes the impression, because without the bloody nosed, like,
Sorry,
boxer. That's okay. It actually doesn't seem as it is not. Elric presents together. He was at work, right? So he doesn't look like he's been in a scuffle. So there's much less resistance or confusion around checking Elsie in. You're helping an unconscious woman. She collapsed at however you want to play. I just want to know how you play this story, and then we'll follow Harold.
I think it's just going to be very pragmatic, and just explain that I'm security at the barge fights. I looked over, she collapsed. My boss was leaving. I hitched a ride to bring her here.
As you say this, Harold is walking away. Do you hurry up the interaction to follow Harold? Harold, do you wait for Elric?
No, I didn't instruct him to come with me.
You did not instruct him to come with you. He's okay. At this point, you're okay. So yeah, so it's just, then I'm just asking, Elric, do you watch Harold walk out of sight? He's on a mission.
Yeah,
okay.
But Library Cat has my primary focus, really, because he didn't give me an order to follow him. So later I'm supposed to follow him and bring the wrath of the Old Testament God down on his enemies, I guess. But right now, this is my task.
Okay. You snake your way through the hospital. You go up to the 5th floor. You come room 507 at the end of the hall on the right. And as you approach, a man comes out of the room. You lock eyes for a second, and he moves to walk past you. Do you I am going to ask you to roll either a spot hidden or a psychology, because unless you were going to tell me now, you don't give you don't, you're like, I don't care about that.
Well, I was about to ask, does he look like a doctor?
He does not look like a doctor.
Roll successful psychology.
He is panicked. The blood has just drained out of his face upon seeing you. He is frozen. So when I say, the feign, he is feigning like he's going to walk past you. He's feigning like he's feigning like everything, like this is like he's supposed to be here.
Okay, so then when I pull my knife out and put a hand on his chest to stop him in the hall, and then hold the knife to his abdomen and say, let's go in, shall we? What does he do?
He freezes. You feel him tense. And he just says, okay.
Well, after you.
All right. He opens the door into the dark hospital room and walks in. He moves to the foot of the bed where you can see a figure lying there in the bed. What do you do? Roll a. I want to know this game better. Go for listen. Sorry, I don't know if I came through. Rolling a listen check.
Yeah, no, I don't hit a listen check.
Okay.
What the fuck are you doing in the room with my wife?
So you walk into the room and
close the door behind me softly, and then turn to him and say, the fuck are you doing in the room?
As you close the door softly, there's a man behind the door who is going to leap. This is going to be, but I would say but you're not surprised.
Okay.
Because I was going to surprise you, but you caught him. you said call like so you he goes to engage combat.
Okay, great.
Okay, so yeah, so he leaps towards you with a small with a knife. And this is our first bite. So
Bite.
I'm gonna roll some dice. So I'm gonna fight. Your choices are to fight back or to dodge or to flee or to, it's called fight maneuver. If you want to specify, like, I'm going to try to wrestle the knife out of his hand or something like that. Like, does that make?
Oh, I'm going to try to poke him to death before he pokes me.
Okay, so we're going for fight back. Vikavar gives Harold advantage on this as well. Okay, so advantage listen again. Oh, I'm sorry, Vikavar. I didn't see the listen again. Yeah, the listen again would have tipped you off, but we'll give you it's a bonus dice. You'll get an extra D10 on your fight back.
Okay.
So
what is the roll then? How do we do this?
So it's brawl unless you are using another skill to fight with.
It's brawl.
Yeah. So it's our brawls. So we roll the 10, the D100.
Yeah.
And then you see if it is what kind of success or fail. Our options are fumble, fail, success, extreme success, and crit success.
How is it contested?
Sorry?
How is it contested between us?
So how it's contested is like it's the chart of fifths to assess whether or not it's a fumble, fail, success, extreme success, or crit success. So roll under. Did you succeed? Did you roll under your brawl?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
If success is just under your skill, extreme success is 1/5 of that skill. So if you rolled under 1/5 of your ability, that is an extreme success.
Okay. So I rolled a 39 with the bonus D10, and my brawl is 75.
Okay. I'll pull up the chart of fifths. The great chart of fifths. So tell me the number again. 70.
You want me to do that?
79, 8, 38. 38 is a fifth. Oh, 15 or less. No. Oh, sorry. A half value is
39.
39. Okay. So the fifth value would be 15 and half, so 1/5. Okay. So it would have to be 15. Okay. My apologies. Thanks. Yeah. So it's just a success. He failed. So you are going to get to block his attack and deal damage.
Okay. How do I deal damage?
So what kind of weapon are you using? You're using a knife?
I'm using a knife medium.
Knife is 1d4 plus 2 plus your damage bonus.
What's my damage bonus?
Damage bonus is on your character sheet. I believe it should have auto filled in. If it didn't,
It's
then I
zero.
will. Then it is going to be, 1d4 plus 2.
I do 4 damage.
How do you, so what kind of, you stab him in the gut? Do you want me, I can roll, or you can tell me.
I think it's just very much just like a blind move, right? Like he's kind of being caught by surprise here.
Yeah, you've kind of taken him by surprise. Their ambush got thwarted by the exact moment someone had to go and take a leak.
Yeah. So I just kind of go into his chest. It's only 4 damage, so like I probably stop in a rib before jerking it out.
Right. Okay. So you slash in response. The door slams.
Yeah.
Shut with the two of you in the room. And now we'll look at we'll call that the surprise round, and we'll do initiative. And that way we can keep track of time so that we can tell Elric and Thad how long you've been gone for. 1 second. Okay, so what's your initiative? Oh, I have it. 90. All right. So slashing at this attacker that made a move on you from behind the door, you make contact with the man's like you're going for you're going for something juicy on the side, which is like pretty smart thinking, but you're just at the wrong angle to really stick it to the lungs. And you can whirl around any gunshots or explosions or something. So I see that. That I'll let everyone know if there's louder sounds, but you have another attack. So you can go for this guy again, or you can spin around to the one at the foot of Fiona's bed.
Again.
Okay. So yeah. You can roll to attack.
I rolled a 12.
Okay, so great. So this is an extreme success.
Okay. Extreme
success with the weapon you have is an impale. You can choose a vital part of the body. So we're talking like jugular, like we're talking like eye. You get to choose how your extreme success, and it's max damage.
Coming like kind of from under. And just coming off the last, Harold just jerks the knife back, fixes his angle, then turns it slightly, rotates it slightly, and passes it between the same set of ribs into the man's heart.
He drops, gurgling, to his knees. And
Harold goes, "Tuh!" and then kicks him away from him.
The man from the hallway standing at the edge of the bed runs to the window and throws it open and starts scrambling. He's going to scramble. So he's going to spend his turn. Are there attacks of opportunity in this game? Vikavar, if you happen to know that, please do in this moment, let me know. But I spent the day reading about it and I'm not totally certain that there are. So I think that's just what he's going to do for his movement. But it is going to be your turn immediately. What do you do? He's managed to get the window open and he's sort of, sorry, I'm not familiar. I'm still learning, but yeah. What do you do? He's got the window open and he's trying to climb down.
507, are we on the 5th floor?
Yeah, you're on the 5th floor.
What else is in the room?
There's just it's a single occupancy room. There's no one else in here. There's a chair, there's a nightstand, there's a bedpan, there's like a painting on the wall, there's a vase with like a dead flower in it.
Okay. Harold, sheathing his knife, is gonna grab him by his belt.
Grab him by his belt. Okay, so this is
pull him back.
Okay, this is a fight maneuver. So you're going to roll the same, it's going to be done with the same skill unless there is another skill that you want to use. And he is going to attempt a dodge in this precarious situation where I think he's trying to climb out onto a tree or some kind of trellis.
I rolled a 44.
So
that's 3 out of the 5 brackets of fifths.
All right, so what kind of, how much of what do you mean I'm just not great at fractions. What kind of success is that?
So if there's 5 fifths from lowest to highest, that's in the middle.
That's in the middle? Okay. So it's just a success. It has to be under 1/5 of your skill for it to be an extreme success. So he also got a regular success as well. So you both, you grab him, but he's stronger and he seems to have like cat burglar kind of reflexes. And he is not going down. He is not successfully escaping out the window, but he's not going he isn't. You haven't managed to pull him back in. Thad, roll us. Tell me how what are you doing outside while you wait for? What are you?
How
Are
much
you?
time has passed?
Huh?
How much time has passed since they've gone into this hospital?
Not very long. You can still see through it's a simple building, so you can still see up the stairs because you parked in front. You can see Elric still checking in this unconscious woman. And I don't know that you even necessarily agreed to wait for them, but you have your memory, so you know who they are.
I said that I was going to be waiting for them.
Okay.
We weren't done. Our discussion about this shared fantasy or shared other reality that we all were in, no matter Harold's protestations.
We'll say that in the time it took for Harold to go up the 5 flights of stairs, because there's no elevator, it's going to be it is going to be a spot hidden, Kina. Just in the event that he had wandered away to gamble, I just needed to,
Spot hidden.
But yes, you are going to roll a spot hidden as you're outside.
So before I tell you the answer to the question, I have, in the brief period of time, I've double checked the vomit. I've continued to open and drink the beer, taken a couple, and I fished a soft pack and some matches out of my pocket to light up an unfiltered cigarette as I kind of try to also re-quaff myself in one of the mirrors. I failed my spot check with a 40 as I am sort of looking in the mirror.
Okay. You fail it. Okay, so we'll say, after Elsie gets checked in, where do you go, Elric?
Well, I don't hear any of this, right?
Yeah, there would either be enough time for you to have started on the stairs or to have come out to wait with Thad.
Well, I'm coming out to wait with Thad because I was told that we were going to leave the hospital.
Hey, we've got advantage. So what was it? How close were you on that roll there, Thad?
I rolled a 40 and my spot hidden is 25.
Ooh.
Okay, well we'll give this extra dice to Elric, who is now also going to get to roll a spot hidden as you're waiting by the car. And roll it with a bonus die, an extra d10 to subtract to get below.
Close but no cigar, man.
Close but no cigar. How close?
Sorry.
How close?
My spot hidden is 20 or 25 rather, and I roll a 33.
You rolled a 33, and then the bonus die. How much did that bring it down?
That's with the bonus die down. So I rolled a 40, and then I subtracted the 7 from the bonus die. So it was close. So nothing, no help. But thank you, buddy. Thank you, Vikavar. Tried so hard. It's
You did try. All right, the struggle continues.
No matter what universe he's in, Elric is terrible at saving throws or any sort of introspective saves.
Okay, so the man is going to try to get away from you, Harold. He is going to roll. It's going to be a dodge versus your brawl. So this is going to be contested, I think. Not contested. Is it? Oh, sorry, learning. Basically, you're going to have to, you need to roll brawl, and we'll compare the successes.
Okay. I rolled a 13.
So that's an extreme success. That is an extreme success on, let's see. So he is not going to get away. Let's see. The dodge. So he is not going to take damage because that's like the one perk of if you choose to try to get out of a situation, if you fail, you don't take damage. It is not an opportunity for the opposing party. But it was an extreme success actually, and he only got a regular success. So actually, what is that? Someone on the internet later watching this can tell me what should have happened in this moment with the totally correct interpretation of the rules. But
It's your game, Claire.
but Harold, because you got an extreme success, what do you want to do? He's tried to like break your grasp, you know, that like he's tried to like do the thing where you come up and you push the arms out, but now you have him. You have him, and what are you gonna do?
I grabbed him from behind by
from behind. Oh yeah, so sorry. He was like trying to break your grasp, and
Right.
he's sorry.
Right? So Harold like kind of digs his foot against the wall and gives a good heave and lifts up and then just sort of helps him to fall flat down onto the ground in front of him.
Oof.
Okay. All right. I totally lost track of time because I'm being a dungeon master. So how about now that we don't have someone hanging out a window, how about we get geared up for a break? Yeah, that, or we can like, because death and fight is in Call of Cthulhu. It's risky. It's real risky. This could take. It's not like D&D. You may not be able to just take him out. You know. So I'm thinking that given that we've been here a minute, if Koi is able to hear me and I can tell the chat that we'll be back in 10, we do need never end on a window hanger.
That guy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Digavar.
In Candlewick Manor, born to nobility, Ollie dodged through life with frivolity. Parties and balls, a life so grand. Little did she know what fate had planned. Ollie, the wandering Candlewick, chosen by Sybil in her destinies down the street from towers of paper to the open road, a reluctant cleric with powers bestowed. Plucked from luxury, thrust into robes, surrounded by tomes and dusty old globes. But Ollie's mind, sharp as a tack, mastered the legalese others did lack. Contracts and bylaws, she knew them all. Her litigious prowess made bureaucrats fall. In mazes of paper would she find a way to bend the rules and save the day. A holy symbol in a divine dream. Not all in the tower is as it may seem. A true cleric now with healing in hand. She'll represent the tower across the land. But Ollie sees more than meets the eye. All timelines at once, futures that fly. Past, present, future, all intertwined. Sometimes leaving the present behind. But Ollie sees more than meets the eye. All timelines at once, futures that fly. Past, present, future, all intertwined. Sometimes leaving the present behind. Library cat, shrouded in mystery, follows Ollie through every history. With glowing eyes and silent paws, it guards her path without pause. Ollie, the wandering Candlewick, chosen by Sybil in her destinies down the street from towers of paper to the open road, a reluctant cleric with powers bestowed. Cut from luxury, thrust into robes, surrounded by tomes and dusty old globes. But Ollie's mind, sharp as a tack, mastered the legalese others did lack.
Oh, hoist up the sails, let the winds take a clip. For Thaddeus turned, I command his ship. For good of the waves, a sailor so bold, with magical powers and a heart of gold. Behold, Thaddeus sailed the endless sea, with little Boo as wise as can be. Through tempest and tide, they roam far and wide. The turnpike legacy, their unfading pride. From the mighty turnpike line he hails, with the lineage of captains braving the gales. A scion of seafarers fierce and grand, with the smell on his lips and the sword in his hand. Behold, Thaddeus, master of the spell, with little Boo through heaven and hell. They dance with the stars, they flirt with the dew, they'll laugh fortune's boon. An owl for his mate, little Boobo's his name. Together they soar in fortune and fame. With little Boobo, his talons wrapped in light, they summon the winds and the stars to their fight. A curse of great power, a gift or a bane, Thaddeus wields it with little to fame. A rogue with a charm, a sailor with flair, he faces each curse with nary a care. Behold Thaddeus, the sea's arcane knight, with little Boobo in the pale moonlight. Through whispers of magic and the salt-laden air, the turnpike adventure none can compare. So sing of the turnpike, the legend, the tale of Thaddeus and Boobo setting sail. For where the map ends, their journeys just start. The sea's in their blood, magic in their heart. So sing of that turnpike, the legend, the tale of Thaddeus and Boobo setting sail. For where the map ends, their journeys just start. The sea's in their blood, magic in their heart.
In Salamia's fields, a halfling stood tall. Sea gray eyes, a fighter's call. With Fiona's love and Angus' smile, his world was bright for a little while. Oh, Harold Grey with list in hand, a promise made, a journey planned. Each task he'll mark, each dream fulfill. For those he's lost, his heart beats still. From Zakar streets to golden fields, their family loved the greatest shield. They dreamed of wonders near and far, penned on a list beneath the stars. Oh, Harold Grey with list in hand, a promise made, a journey planned. Each task he'll mark, each dream fulfill. For those he's lost, his heart beats still. Young Angus fell on distant shore, while Fiona's kiss would come no more. A drunken noble, a vengeful blade, left Harold's world in darkness laid. But from his grief a purpose born, to honor vows that he had sworn. The list unfolds a final wish, a blade resisted a gutted fish. Now Harold roams through joy and strife, to live for three in one short life. From mountains high to oceans deep, this solemn pledge he vowed to keep. With bowler hat and iron will, he faces each task with hard-won skill. For every deed he sees it through, he feels their love forever true. And when the final task is done, when every battle's lost and won, he'll close his eyes, his duty clear, knowing his loved ones drawing near. In afterlife they'll meet again, their love eternal, free from pain. The list complete, their dreams fulfilled, a promise kept, a future will. Oh, Harold Grey, your journey's long, but in your heart they're never gone. With every dream that you fulfill, Fiona and Angus are with you still.
On that cliff window hanger. I believe it is my turn. No, it is your turn, because it was his turn to try to get away from you. He failed. You dragged him in. Your friends below did not see the kerfuffle on the 5th floor above. What do you do, Harold?
You said there was a vase?
There is, yeah.
I huck it out the window.
Okay. So this is an action. This is what you do with your action. You throw a vase out the window. There is a smash right next to your precious car, Thaddeus. We'll go to Thad and Thad, you get to respond first.
I look up at the window. That's clearly not correct in a hospital. I mutter "fuck" underneath my breath, and because I'm on the vom side, I open up the passenger door and I reach in and I grab the shotgun that my sawed off that I've surreptitiously sort of slid down, and I tuck it underneath my overcoat again, my big jacket, and I book it into the hospital.
All right, Elric, you see it's your turn. How do you respond?
Well, seeing Thad running straight at me after the vase shatters between he and I turn around and start heading back in immediately, post haste up the stairs.
Okay.
I was near the nurse. I was near the nurse when Harold asked for the room number. I was right next to Harold, so I know I'm going to 507.
Yeah. Right. You two are booking it. We come to my turn.
Your turn. This hapless person sitting in the floor.
He is going to try again to scramble out the window. So he's going to, you roll brawl if you're going to stop him. Keen. If Harold's going to stop him, it's another brawl. And
I roll a 68 on a 75.
okay, so it is a success. And I have rolled 45 on my dodge. I needed to get a 40. So, no, wait, I needed to get it. No, I needed to get a 50. So I got a 40. Sorry, I'm sorry. I got a 45 out of 50. So he is going to wriggle out. Something about when you reach for the vase, he took the moment, and he is scrambling out the window onto.
So if we both succeed, what is the effect?
Oh, if we both succeed, then in terms of our levels, if we both are just on successes, then the defender wins.
Okay.
In a dodge. And then if we would also look at if you hadn't rolled, so if you had rolled also a success, but it had been a 43, then it would be there. You can have a tie, and we would get into the more nitty. We would learn how fractions and numbers are supposed to.
Because I did roll a success.
Yes. Okay. So you did roll a success.
Yep.
In terms of levels, the defender wins on the dodge. Or he's on the offensive of getting away. Like he's the initiator of this turn. So you both succeed. I'm just wanting to fight maneuver. He's actually doing, well, it's not a fight maneuver. I'm calling it a dodge because then your sizes would come into play, but no. The higher level for the defender, dodge and take no damage. Yeah, so.
Thanks.
He's out the window. It is your turn again.
I'm going to yoink him back in.
Okay, great. Roll the maneuver.
22. So that's the second highest tier.
Okay, so that's an extreme success. He is going to roll to resist that. He gets a 57, so he does not. So okay. You pull him in with great success and like knock him prone onto the floor. Like this is like a, oh no you don't, like kind of a pickup at a body slam into the ground. Mm-hmm. And now Elric in the lead because you were in the building already. But Thaddeus's initiative is higher. So Thaddeus shot past you with a shotgun. But then you were like 507 and you're both sprinting, but we'll go with Thaddeus. It's going to be your go first.
So I'm now going to now that I know that it's 507, I'm heading straight there.
Yeah. Okay. So you're there. We're saying that it took one round for you to get up off. Like that's just Why not? Why not? It's
I burst in from it because there are nurses around, and I'm not a fool. I'm not running in with my sawed off out. I do have it underneath my overcoat. But the second I burst into the room, like in a big flap, it opens. And there I am in my pirate shirt and my tight, Imperial Regency breeches, and I just whip up the shotgun at the sawed-off at the person that Harold's holding, and I just say, "You go out the window, I kill you."
As you throw the door open, it smashes into the body of the man slumped behind it, and you say what you say into the eyes of this man that lies prone on the ground, eyes wide. What does Elric? Elric, you are right in step behind. What do you do?
I was trying to make a joke. Sorry, I got distracted, but I typed in part of my script that I was working on instead. So on the thing, I had something for that. So I go over to the guy and I just grip him by the shoulders. I just grab him. Should I roll a brawl?
It's gonna be, if you want, it's gonna be a fight maneuver. Are you trying to pick him up, or you're trying to? What's your move specifically? Is it to cause damage, or is it to chokehold him or headlock it? What's the flavor of the move?
Okay, well then let me do something more dramatic. Then I will just grab him and swing him against the wall.
Okay, so that's brawl. That's with intention to
Cool. So what do I do?
You rolled.
70?
And is that under? Is that a success with your brawl skill?
So my brawl is 70. So I need to do this in fifth.
You roll under it, and that's a success. An extreme success is 1/5 of 70.
No, just success.
Just success. Okay. So you're gonna roll your damage. Damage on an unarmed attack is 1d3 plus your damage bonus.
1d3. What? Oh, a d6. Okay.
Well, a d4, I guess, or a d6. Actually, d6. Sorry, it's 1d3. So
2 plus another d6 is my damage bonus. 8 points of damage.
You slam him into the wall. You pick him up, you move past your bosses and your friends from another time and place. You pick this man up, slam him into the wall. His eyes go wide, and you hear this click in his mouth, and he screams, "Oh no!" And suddenly a black, frothing, acided, acrid thing pours, and the lower half of his jaw melts off. You are standing looking into this horrifying thing. You are going to have to make a sanity check. This is not any, you don't know what this man does not know what this is, and he has seen some things.
Okay. All right. Wait, what's my sanity? 55? Woo! 47, baby.
While this is horrifying, another part of you has seen far weirder shit, and you feel bizarrely unfazed by this man's melting, and he doesn't last long with whatever sort of suicide pill he chomped down on. It is over. He is half. Half person in your hands. The fight is concluded. You three stand there holding this melted man. Another one lies slumped, bleeding out behind a door. And in the middle of all this is Fiona. lying in a hospital bed. What happens first? What is the first thing now that I mean, you guys can tell me if you react to the horrifying thing that you just saw. I'm not gonna. You weren't staring straight at it, and Elric's a big guy, so he might have to turn around and explain where this man's jaw went. But
I make sure that everybody sees that my finger is nowhere near the trigger. And I sort of put the shotgun down and I go,
Arlick, do you have any memory of seeing anything magical in this world?
Claire?
yeah, you know that you experienced something magical happened to you, something really like that. I mean, there is a certain color of green that only spells can make, and you saw it light up the boxing ring barge venue, and you felt it pierce your mind, and you endured it, and it was gone.
Right.
But it doesn't sound like Elsie dropped when that happened. Squeak Noir dropped.
before the boxing match, do you have any memories of any sort of paranormal, mystical, occult activity here, Old Sport?
The only thing is this, and he reaches into his inside pocket of his overcoat and pulls out the rubbing of this Tree of Zevlin. And he hands it to Thad and says, This was at a jeweler's, at the guild, the Jewelers Guild. It's a.
Do I need to see? Can I remember this without a sanity check? Is this
More detail. Details are you are able to access details.
So I look at that and then I look over to Harold and I go.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Harold is slowly approaching the bed, ignoring everything that's going on around him right now.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I'm sorry. The music is meant to stay on the somber hospital sounds. There we go. Okay. Yes, he slowly approaches. Yeah, Fiona her head is wrapped and bandaged, and you can see that she is breathing, but she is unconscious. There's a knock at the door as a nurse. Is everything okay in there? I heard a shout.
I quickly kind of throw toss the shotgun to Arlick, like hoping that the reflexes that he has here are similar to the ones that I would expect him. And before the nurse can firmly get into the room, in the smoothest, most debonair in the door, I just sort of prop myself and wedge myself in, and I go,
"Oh no, everything is fine in here. What is your name?"
Give me some. Are you proficient in fast talk?
Yes, I am proficient in fast talk.
Give me some fast talk.
Wow. What is your name?
But I roll a. I had to beat a 65 and I rolled a 78. Or no, I had to beat a 70 and I rolled a 78. Oh, can I push it?
You can push it.
So I roll a D10 now, right?
Yeah, you can push it. Tell me what that looks like, as she sort of looks a little nervous and uncertain, and she's clearly angling.
So pushing it actually is I sort of let my overcoat also sort of slip off and fall behind me, and I somehow managed to wedge myself. So I'm standing on the other door, and I'm letting my sort of shirt hang open, and she's seeing my very chiseled upper. I'm going full himbo sex pot now. I'm really being able to. You might not know me, but I'm Thaddeus Turnpike. I believe my family built this building. Is my push.
All right. Let's,
So
so
what-
yeah. So roll 2 just because the chat would have given you if able. So just roll, I'm going to give you an extra, you're going to get an extra.
Okay, I rolled the same thing both times, which is a 3.
So you don't make it. Okay.
No, Thaddeus pushing and failing a seduction check is actually, he has a terribly low charisma.
He goes, I do know who you are. It's true. This is the Turnpike floor. But what are you doing in Ms. I don't know Harold's last name, but in Mrs. Harold's room?
Harold comes to the door and looks at the nurse and says, in all honesty, "My name is Harold Gray, the husband of Fiona."
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. The accident was really bad.
"Can we step outside? I don't want to wake her."
Of course. Here, you're here. I'll go get the doctor. I'll go get the doctor right away so that you can have. She's concussed. We're hoping that the internal bleeding isn't too bad. We won't. It's the 1920s, so we don't know yet. We're working on it. There's Kevin the fight guy. Let me check to see if you could do. Anyways, so what do you do? She's gonna go get a doctor.
You get a doctor. Harold is going to immediately, quietly check the adjoining rooms for an empty room.
Sure, yeah, you find one.
Harold comes back. Bodies in 702.
Okay, so those are the instructions you're giving to
Yeah.
that. And okay,
Yeah.
so yes, she leaves. You've found the empty room. What do you do, Elric and Thad?
Well, I know how to be a good soldier. I mean, I just do the thing. I hoist up. How big are they? I mean, they're grown men.
They're grown men, but they're like medium. They're 5. One's 5'7", one's 5. The one that the window 5'10".
I go to help immediately. I pick up the first body. Clearly, we should hustle on one at a time.
Yeah.
Sure. Do you do any search of the body at this time, or you're just moving it?
Not yet.
We're gonna move it. I'm gonna check. I was thinking about this. Once the bodies are safely moved, then we check. They gotta get time before this doctor shows up.
Sure. So
On my way back, 702, I grab some of the clean linen from the room, and I do my best to quickly mop up the worst of it.
Okay, great.
Before taking the bloody mess of rags and just sort of like stuffing it under a bed.
Okay, fantastic. So yeah, you put the bodies in the other room. You don't need to roll anything or anything to do that. You both have certainly, you work together so bizarrely effectively. And you managed to get the job done real quick. So that leaves us with 2 of our characters. So you're both in 702. Harold, you're cleaning up in 507, and you hear the footsteps of a doctor approaching. I'm going to ask Thad and Elric what they're going to do.
Well, as soon as we secure 702, I'm going to drop the body down there, and I am going to yell to Thad, or whisper to Thad, "Check the bodies. I'll watch the door."
Of course. Sport. I check the bodies.
Okay, great. So you find both of them carry the necklace with the Zivelin sort of mockery mock-up. And you find a letter on one of them. And you can look at those things while with the doctor, this Harold Doctor. I'm going to get better at this. See, rusty DM moments here. I am Dr. Matthew. I am so sorry about your wife's condition. She's really lucky to have survived. And we hope that she will stabilize, but things are really touch and go. The woman that she was traveling with is also unconscious and on the floor below. And the man who was driving is recovering at home. The people in the other vehicle did not survive. And I'm not sure how we will keep you informed and updated of her condition.
What happened?
It was a head-on collision. You can talk to the police about it. They'll have more information. But it is known that when these young men get these cars, they drive them too fast. And based on the reports from the coroner, the other people, they were damn near incinerated. The reports from the coroner, well, you don't need to know about it. Doesn't, and he mutters to himself. He mutters to himself the way that someone who has been informed of something, he hasn't seen it, but he read the reports and it doesn't make sense. How could they be sort of decapitated or car battery acid doesn't melt the face. So what doesn't, he's muttering. You can press into that. Where are they?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
How do I press into that?
Oh, sorry. Where? They were since they didn't survive, their bodies would be at the morgue. Hopefully they can be identified without dental records or without. It's a grim story, but it will be.
You said their feet were melted?
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have. It's there. I'm sorry. The coroner. We're still trying to piece together what exactly could have happened. Perhaps there is something new in the making of cars that causes it. Is decapitation happens sometimes, but I've never seen this before. So you are very lucky that whatever malfunction befell that other vehicle did not befall your wife's.
I need to send a telegram. I can pay for the service.
Absolutely. Paige at the front desk will be more than happy to assist you.
Thank you.
All right. So, right. He.
Have there been any other visitors?
Yes. Some. Her brothers came earlier. You didn't. You can see when they signed in and signed out. If you.
Fiona doesn't have brothers.
You'll have to talk to the nurses station about that.
I see.
And we will keep you informed. If she survives the night, then hopefully the internal bleeding is not. And then he talks in Dr. Jargon, which he knows how to do and say. It's sort of telling you nothing and giving you your understanding of it is she is certainly not out of any woods, but she is alive. And there's a part of your mind somewhere that knows about healing powers, and there's a part of your mind that knows you have a short friend who can, but that's not part of this world. So yeah, your memories of your old life and what you know is possible there versus this one, and it's sort of what the rigidity of reality here feels oppressive as you listen to him talk about how
Harold waits for the doctor to leave and then blinks hard and rubs his eyes. These strange thoughts happening in his head. And he goes back into the room and he holds Fiona's hand, and then kneeling beside the bed just rests his head on her chest.
Okay. We'll leave you in that moment, and we'll go to Thad and Aelric, who have discovered necklaces and a letter.
Yeah, what does that letter say?
It says, let me just make sure that there are 6 of them. Bring them to me. Ma. That's what do you share? The letter? What do you do, Thad?
It's just M-A at the end, Ma.
Mhm. Yeah.
There's 6 of them. Bring them to me, Ma. All right, I read it, and now this is my first time. I'm gonna look over. I still have the piece of paper, I think, that
Yeah, you didn't give it back.
Yeah, I handed it back to you.
No.
I'm gonna unfold that paper, and I want to check the etching to this version of the Zivelin mark.
Sure. So you're checking the necklace with the one that Elric has the etching of, right? Not any. Yeah. So yeah, they are. It is exactly. It's the mold. It is the mold down to the way that the vines around the tree grow and coil.
I look up at Arlic, and do 6 of them make any sense to you?
No.
Oh. Well, another deepening mystery, old sport. Do they have any guns? Do they have any weapons? Did they just have the letters and the necklaces? Otherwise, they were unarmed?
No, they had knives and they had guns. The guns they had were revolvers. No, .32s.
.32s. Well, I'm going to pocket one of them, and then I'm going to sort of, again, do that casual toss of the other one to Arlic. And I'm going to say, well, I assume you know how to use one of these.
Sorry. Yes. And he grabs it, like snatches it out of the air. He cracks it open, checks the cylinder. Is it loaded?
Yes.
Great. He puts it back together, and then puts it in his belt behind his coat.
So Harold, continue with that.
Yeah, and then I'm going to turn back to Thad and say, "Give me one of those necklaces."
I take one off. I chuck it to him, and as he does, I look at him. Have you killed anybody here before, old sport?
Yeah, I've killed a lot of people here, old sport.
You want to know something funny?
Sure.
Even though I can remember ending at this point a countless number of lives back in the other place, even though the Thad here has seriously beaten people, I've never actually killed a man before.
Well, I've actually killed far more here.
Well, let's go see if Harold is finished, if you want to poke your head out, but I gotta say, it would be nice to have these things. I'd pick up the guns back in the other place, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Okay. So Harold, oh, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt the scene.
No, you're fine. We're gonna head out. We're heading out back to the room.
So Harold, have you gone downstairs to send the telegram?
No, I'm still in the room.
Still in the room. Okay. So footsteps. You hear footsteps coming down the hallway. Everyone can hear them. They are the clacking footsteps of someone, like someone who works there. And a nurse knocks on the door of Fiona's room, and sees you, Harold. While Thad and Elric are having their chat, and says, "Oh, excuse, sir, the woman that your friend brought in is awake. I thought if you know, maybe you didn't come together. I'm sorry. My apologies. I'm trying to find.
What room? What room?
She's on the third floor.
What room on the third?
302. 302. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. 302.
I'm sorry. It's been a long night.
Yes. Yeah, she's awake. You can, we still have visiting hours, so you're still allowed to go and visit. And she moves along. All right, so
I'm her
what do you
father-in-law, right, Claire?
Sorry?
Harold's her father-in-law, right? The woman that Fiona was with. You stated that she...
Oh, yes, sorry, Jane. So Jane, she is she's like like James is like a son to you, and that's Jane and Jane's
oh, okay, so she wasn't
Jane.
okay. Not really a father-in-law, but got it. Okay.
But like your son's best friend's gal, like a dear, like she's like family, absolutely. So she is also here. You saw her name. She's just on the floor, like she's just on the. So everyone's spread out by one floor.
Okay.
She's on.
So Harold's gonna lean down, kiss Fiona on the forehead, and then leave the room. And then once the nurse walks away, knock lightly on 702.
Speak of the devil.
Or 502.
I open the door.
Yeah.
Well, Harold.
Wait, Harold, you're with us? You went down to 302. Did you go down to 302?
I'm sorry, so many numbers, guys. So we've got Fiona on the 5th floor, we've got Jane on the 4th floor, and we've got Elsie on the 3rd floor.
He was knocking on our
We got
door.
the bodies on 702.
Oh yeah, the body is 702, which also is on the 5th. It's fine.
Okay.
On the 5th floor.
It's just don't worry about it.
The room that you're in, I haven't gone downstairs yet. I open the door.
Okay. To us.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, Harold, I don't want to continue shocking you, but is there at any point have you started to either remember a past life or start to share a mass delusion with the two of us?
Did you search the bodies?
I throw him the necklace of Zivelin that I was holding.
Anything else?
A note from Ma.
I take the note. What does it say, Claire?
There are 6 of them. Bring them to me, Ma.
I need to send a telegram to James. And then I need to visit Jane. She was in the car with Fiona, and she's now awake.
Oh, the woman that Elric brought in, the woman that Ellerby signed in, is awake.
Oh, not her. Okay. I need to send a telegram. Elric, you'll be happy to know that the woman you brought in is awake. You did good.
Harold,
Thank you.
before you send the telegram, do you remember or are you as disturbed as we are?
I I thought they were giving you fixed matches the entire time.
Having Thaddeus Turnpike say it
They were
so
actually hitting you in the head.
You are going to having Thaddeus Turnpike say in front of you while standing next to Elric, do you remember, is going to make you you're going to have to do a sanity check. You just like unless you want to tell me role playing wise, you are like suppressing the absolute. You are like, that is a door to my mind.
Harold passes the sanity check.
Okay, so carry on. So yeah,
I'm going to go send a telegram now. Thaddeus, your ideas are very intriguing. Perhaps we could talk about them on the way to our next destination. Yes?
Which is where?
Yes.
I haven't figured that out yet. I need to send a telegram.
All right.
Go
Okay.
send your telegram. I'm going to go check on Elsie, and then meet me in the lobby, Thad. Unless you want to come with me and see the cat.
Oh no, no, not at all.
I'll see you in the lobby then.
Yeah. Okay. Bye. I turn around as the two men take off to go meet up with patients. I'm gonna turn around and I'm just gonna stare at the bodies for a couple of seconds. It being the 1920s, I'm going to take my soft pack out inside of the hospital, and as I look at the bodies, I'm going to light up a cigarette, and then I'm going to walk. I'm just gonna flick off the lights and close the door behind me.
That's so on brand, buddy. That is so on brand.
Amazing. The genre. It's perfect. Okay. So yeah, Harold's going to go send a telegram. Elric is going to go and see Elsie. And I'm going to assume that does not stare deeply into the still slightly smoldering maw of the one gentleman. Unless you feel overly compelled.
No, I'm just lighting up my cigarette while I look at the bodies. I'm then walking out of the room, flicking off the lights, closing the door.
Sure.
And I'm gonna head back to the car to grab another beer.
Okay, great. Great. So, Elric, you get to the room of the woman that you brought here. Tell me what you do.
Knock on the door and try to open it up. See if it goes. Yeah, walk.
It opens. Okay. It opens, and this woman, not obviously Squeak Noir or Monsieur Malbar, but this woman sits in the bed intently, staring at the door.
And Elric walks. I walk in. I just walk in and walk right over to the bed.
She starts signing and doing signs with her hands.
Shit. Okay. You can't speak.
She shakes her head and then gestures.
Shit. Well, okay. Well, I'll start rifling through. Is there anything to rifle through in here?
Classic hospital. This one has a second bed unoccupied. Same setup, same sad flower vase situation. This one's going to be empty because it is a lower down floor and the upper ones are wealthier. But you definitely have like a pocket book, like a little booklet on it. Like you definitely would have those things.
But okay. I mean, that was one of the items I asked for. Yeah, that's fine. I'll hand her my journal. With the pen.
Sure. She writes on it and hands it back to you. It says, "I'm Elsie. How do I know you?"
And I say, I don't know that you know me. I can't tell if you know me or not. But I know you.
She takes the thing back and writes, "Where is Sebastian Black? You know him as the boxer Montbar."
We left him at the barge.
Her face falls. And that's gonna be our cliffhanger. We're gonna say that Harold gets down to send the telegram. That goes smoothly.
It's kind of important.
Yeah.
Yeah, the message is to James at the barge. Send Muscle to the hospital. Fiona and Jane attacked by O'Leary's. Do not move until I tell you to. As in, like, don't just start fighting with them.
Yeah.
It's really fun to have one player totally invested in the Call of Duty world, using the other two players who he views as psychotic idiots as muscle. Like, literally, when you're taking a fucking, like, Goombas, he just materialized out of nowhere while suppressing the cognitive dissonance of that.
I know.
It's a whole different ballgame to just saving sanity checks. Like, it's totally like, I don't know which direction to go with them half the time. I'm like, wait, which one? It's great. I'm loving the choices. They're really fantastic. And that's the end. That's the end of our show. Is there anything else that anyone wanted to do? We had Thad's epic cigarette scene, lights out. We've got our LC cliffhanger, and now we've got Harold's organization.
Harold's cliffhanger.
Yeah. So
So I guess I do have one announcement while we're still in for chat and stuff. I am going to try to be here next week. I don't quite know what my schedule is going to be because I'm going to be at South by Southwest with my feature film that's having a premiere there that I am an actor in. So I will be trying to make it. I think it'll work out, but if I have to do something business related at that time, probably can't, but there's multiple times to see movies, so I'm going to try to be here next week and take a little break and all that. So, yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, and you're getting married tomorrow. Congratulations on both.
Yeah.
Sam, what's the name of the movie? Vikavar wants to know.
Oh, sorry, I don't have chat up. The name of the movie is called Caper, and hold on, I will pop the trailer into the chat before we are done, because we just dropped it the other day. So I believe I am featured in said trailer chat, so you can see some of my non-D&D work.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I'm stoked. Cool. Well, thanks so much, everyone. And we'll maybe see everyone next week, or maybe we'll have the Harold and Elric quest of way of interpreting this, because that's got a factory to run. So,
and we can always just make him the driver that stays outside.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, have a great week, and we'll see everyone next week. Okay, thanks.
In Candlewick Manor, born to nobility, Ollie dance through life with frivolity. Parties and balls, a life so grand. Little did she know what fate had planned.